All right. And here we go. We are recording. Excellent. Okay. So let's go ahead and work through for this video parts G and H. Pretty simple. Let's make sure they are in the green sheets folder. And let's do F11. Gives us full screen, a few more pixels for ourselves. And new document in this folder. Let's call this part G. And part G, we're going to do this completely additive, meaning we're not going to have any cuts. We're going to start over on this left side and we're going to make this block here, which we presume goes all the way to the back. And this block, this first sort of, if you were sitting in this chair, the right arm, but it's on the left as we're looking at it, it kind of looks like a chair or I don't know, one of those big arm pillows. Has a face of 3 tall and 2 wide. So we'll make a rectangle that big, and then we will extrude it its depth, which again, we assume it goes the same as this side, so it'll be 5. And then on the right side of that, we're going to make this rectangle and extrude it this way. And then on the right side of that, we're going to make this rectangle and extrude it even more that way. So like I said, our first rectangle is going to be 3 tall and 2 wide. Let's go ahead and start a new sketch. We're going to sketch on the face called front. Okay, and you can tell it's red here, means we haven't selected it yet. So now we have a working sketch. That sketch plane has showed up. And we're doing a 2-dimensional thing. Let's look at it straight on. And let's get our basic corner rectangle. For these simple things, it doesn't have to snap to the middle, but it's a good practice to do that. So we'll set a rectangle of any size, roughly the right size, and we'll make its width 2 and its height 3. And we can finish the sketch. We'll look at it from a corner. And at this point, we can turn off these origin planes because we just have our thing there. Let's go to our basic extrude. What do we want to extrude? It's still red. We need to tell it what we want to extrude. In this case, it's the rectangle we drew. And like we said before, the depth is 5 front to back. Okay. And this dot right here is the origin dot for the center of everything. And we can turn off the visibility of that as well. Okay. Okay, so next step, we need to draw or model the middle part here, which if we draw on, come on, pen, we're going to make this middle block, but we're going to draw it on this side of what we have. I don't know what's going on, a pen. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so if we draw on this side, it's going to be roughly this shape. And that is going to be sort of whatever we can guess this is going to be. We assume it's solid all the way down. So starting in this back corner, our rectangle is going to be the full height, which is 6. Okay, you know this top face is 6 off the ground. And it's 3 front to back. So we're going to go 6 tall and 3 wide. Or technically, this is depth since we're looking at it on the front. And then we're going to extrude it left to right, this width, which is 4. Okay, so we're going to start a sketch and we're going to start on this face. And we're looking at it from the right side. Let's look at it from the right side. Zoom out a little bit. And just, I would say always sketch when you're looking at it straight on, but just to, how do we do, just to show you roughly where we are, I'm going to do it a little bit off of straight on, just so you can see. And we're sketching. We're going to start over here and go up And the dimensions of this, like I said, are 6 tall. And 3 deep, because we're working front to back. We'll finish the sketch, look at it from a corner, extrude, choose the square that we drew, but also this one, it forces you to choose both. And the distance we're gonna extrude is 4, left to right, and a check mark. There we go. And the other, there we go. All right. The last portion is just that other arm, which is the same size. We're going to draw come on. We are going to draw the rectangle on this right side. That's going to be 3 tall and 5 front to back. And we'll extrude it 2 so we can make this entire right block. So we'll get a sketch. We'll sketch on this right side. Look at it straight on from the right. And we'll get a rectangle, which is from this bottom back corner. And I think we can, is there project edges? Let's see if we can project. No, there isn't project. Oh, is this construction? No, never mind. Thinking about other tools from other software. So we need our sketch on this right side of everything. And you could see where we're sketching. We're sketching on that side. Let's get our rectangle, basic 2-point rectangle from here up and over. Dimension, it's depth because we're on the right side, it's front to back. The height is 3. We'll finish the sketch and do extrude, and we got to choose both of the areas that we created there. And it's a width of 2. And there you go. That's part G. Let's close the document. And let's create a new document for part H. Part H. And part H, we're going to do it the other way, where we start with a big chunk and cut away all the things we don't want. And have a spot. Okay. For part H, we're going to draw the full block. We're going to draw a rectangle, the total height and total width, and extrude it the total depth. And then once we have that, we're going to draw a rectangle to cut out everything under there. We're assuming it's a complete overhang and cut all the way through. Then we're going to draw this shape on the top and cut extrude all the way down to that depth. Okay, so let's start with a new sketch. We'll draw on the front. We'll look at it straight on. We will remember to check the sizes before we begin. And its height, if this is our origin point, its total height is 6, 4 from there and 2 from there. And its total width is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 wide and 6 tall. And we're back here. Let's get a rectangle. And dimension 9 wide and 6 tall. Zoom out, take a look at it. And we are now Finish sketching. Let's extrude. We could turn off the visibility on all these origin planes and points. Let's extrude. What do we want to extrude? We want to extrude the rectangle we made. We want to extrude it. Its depth, which again, I forgot, is 5, 3, and 2, 5. Okay. So we want to extrude this a distance of 5 front to back. And there's our piece of marble that we're going to sculpt by cutting away what we don't want. Okay, the first part we don't want is this overhang. So we're going to draw a rectangle from here, this shape, which will be down here, which is a height of 4 and a width of 3. We're drawing what we don't want. And then we're going to, once we're done with that rectangle, we're going to cut extrude all through all. We don't even need to know the dimension, although it's 5. So, okay, so we're going to sketch on the front. We're sketching. Let's look at it straight on. Let's get a rectangle that snaps to this bottom corner, goes up and over. Dimension the width to 3 and the height to 4. Finish the sketch. We'll look at it straight on, or excuse me, from a corner because we're extruding. Wish we had different corners or different colors so you could see the rectangle. I guess this is all right. The standard corner is front top right, although that puts the shading so that the front is the darkest and you can't even see the edges. I question the default color choices by Onshape, but that's fine. So it's extrude the rectangle we drew. We don't want to add material, we want to remove. And we don't have to remove the, I don't know why they use blind, but we want to do through all. And I explain why through all is better in one of the last parts, like, or maybe part C, I think. Okay, so there's that part. And the only other part feature, which is what every extrusions and revolves, those are part features. And they use sketches. Like I said before, extrude is going to be the most common part feature. Just for terminology's sake, that's what we'll call it. And so our shape for the last cutout is going to be a combination. It's going to be a combination of 2 rectangles. One of them is 4 wide. Well, this is the shape that we're going to make, but we're going to draw it on this face here. So the first rectangle is 3 by 4. And the other rectangle is 1 by 2. And when we cut extrude it, that's what we'll be left with. So from here, we need to go 4 this way and 3 this way. And then from here, we need to go 1 this way and 2 that way. And combined, we can extrude. Let's go ahead and sketch. And I actually don't mind looking at it from this corner for the simple ones. Okay. Actually, I don't. Never mind. I changed my mind. Let's dimension. Let's make this one 4 and this one 3. And on the same sketch, we're not finishing sketch. We're getting another rectangle that snaps to this corner. And we want to dimension the width of this rectangle to 1, but we don't need to dimension the depth of this. It's already going to be 2. And it's already constrained. Notice that when I made the rectangle, okay, normally when you make a rectangle, 2 lines will be blue, at least 2 lines. If you put it out here in space, 4 lines will be blue. And the blue lines are the ones that are not constrained. They're not defined yet. Okay, the 2 sides of this rectangle are defined because we snap to the corner. But the other sides are not constrained because we don't know how wide it's supposed to be or tall it's supposed to be. However, oh, please bring that back. Ah, shoot. Okay, we'll try again. No, that's that. Sorry, folks. Let's sketch here. I undid too many things. Spaz at 4 this way and 3 this way. Okay, so when you're making this other rectangle, because we snapped it to this top corner, which is the top edge, counts as the top edge, and we snap it to the first rectangle we drew, it is defining it as 2 inches tall. And that's why the only one of the lines is blue, and that's because we need to define where it goes this way. We don't need to define the other one because we clicked it to something we knew, and we clicked it to something else we knew, which is where this line is. So there's that. Okay, so the width is 1. Now we can finish the sketch. Let's look at it from a corner. Extrude. We want to extrude both this rectangle and that rectangle, but we don't want to add material. We want to cut material, and we don't want to cut all. We just want to cut a height. Since we're on this top face here, and we want to cut until we get to this face here, we need to cut a distance of 4. Okay, and the distance we want to cut is 4. There we go. And there we go. That's part H. Let me know if you have any questions.